Hello, this is Bill Webb, aka Billie, Indiana. Today I'm finally making my video from rolling Reggie's original mid-year board game tag. I was tagged by Dwayne and Alicia from Blackboard Gaming and made my list a long time ago, just shortly after Reggie released his original video on July 6th, actually my birthday, and haven't had a chance to get the video made. So finally getting to it. And so if you're curious to see the answer to the 8 prompts Reggie gave us, stay tuned. This has been a really popular video tag. Lots of people have produced videos for this, and I'm just late getting to the party, but I've enjoyed watching these videos, so I really wanted to make my own too. I've seen one from Rodney from Watch It Played, also Libby and Julian from the Boxed Meeples, Michelle and Billie from Second Star to the Left, Jenna from the Board Game Garden, Jeff and Jamie from Foster the Meeple, and as I said, Dwayne and Alicia, who tagged me from the Blackboard Gaming channel. So check out their channels. I'll have links below for all of those channels. And there were 8 questions from Reggie, so I'm just going to go through them one at a time and answer them for you. So number 1, what is your favorite game? And I assume this is not necessarily just limited to the first half of 2023, but as of the mid-year 2023, what's my favorite game all time? And mine is The Legends of Andor. This is actually one of the expansions, The Journey to the North. This is the one that my wife and I have been playing lately. And when people ask me about it, I have to admit, if I'm thinking about every aspect of gameplay, I can understand why a lot of people may or may not like this game, but we just have so many amazing memories from this game, and every time we play, we have such a good time. It feels like an adventure every time we play the game. It's cooperative. There is some dice rolling, but lots of ways to use the different characters' powers to manipulate those dice. You're trying to save basically the land of Andor from all of these evil beings and monsters, and it's just so much fun. We really love it. Look forward to playing it every time. It is one that we play kind of sporadically because it does take a lot of time to set it up. It does take a fair bit of time to play. And so we'll get it out. We'll play like over a vacation week 3 or 4 times. And we might not get it out for 6 months or even a year. And then another vacation rolls along and we'll get it out and play it for 4 or 5 more times. So just always love getting this one to the table when we can. Legends of Andor, one of my favorites of all time. All right, number 2 question. What is your most played game? So in the first half of the year, I don't own it. My most played game is Acropolis with 22 plays. I think it's Gigamech Games, if I remember correctly. I don't own it, but I've played the physical copy. A couple of my friends own it. I've played their physical copies at their homes and on game nights. And then I've played quite a bit on BGA digitally. So that is my most played game so far. Or as of about mid-July is when I made this list. Number 3, what was your biggest surprise? So I've kind of always been curious about this game, Coimbra, and I wasn't sure if I'd like it. I tend to like Euro games, and I like dice placement games, and this one has some really unique ways to use the dice, both by their pips and their color, and in terms of buying cards, and then also moving on tracks. And it's just a really fun Euro game to me. I really loved it. I was curious about it, but I didn't expect to enjoy it as much as I did. So Coimbra is one. And then there's another one that I felt like I just played even more recently. And I have to mention it as well. See if I can get it off the table here. And that is Stroganoff. Just played that here, I think in June was when we were playing that, right at the beginning of our summer. Stroganoff by Andreas Stedding, and it's produced by Game Brewer, I believe. Yeah, Game Brewer. This is a really fun Euro. It's got really great art, and I know there were some issues with I purchased this secondhand as a Kickstarter, but I know there were some concerns about some of the Kickstarter quality, but the company really has backed it up because with the new expansion of this game, that Kickstarter, they're actually giving a very highly discounted upgrade of everything. So I did go ahead and back that and that's one of the reasons I played this, because I was curious about the expansion on Kickstarter. So I played this a few times with my game group, with my wife. Really enjoy this game. I like all the decisions and when you need to be ahead on the track and when you need to be behind on the track, and when you need to be on certain tiles, and then planting your little, I forget what they're called, but the little X's you put so you can go back to those stations even when your explorer's not on that particular part of the path. But just a terrific game. Really enjoyed Stroganoff. Let's see if I can run out of space. I'm just going to put this on the ground, I guess. All right, so those are two really big surprises for me. Games I thought I might enjoy, but have really loved them. Biggest disappointment, and I can't really blame this on the game, but it would be the game Teach You. And I have a feeling if I played it in person with the actual game, I would enjoy it a lot more. We're playing it on BGA and we're playing it asynchronous. And so it's just taking a long time and it feels so drawn out. And I just don't, that's not the way the game was designed. So I can't really fault the game. But I've heard so many people love it. One of my friends in my gaming group, it's one of his favorite all-time games. And so I was really excited to play it. And then the way it's played in this asynchronous manner has just been a little bit of a letdown. So I'm excited to play it someday in person with the actual card game. Number 5, what game do you want to get rid off of your shelf of shame the most? So this one, I would really like to get Stauffer Dynasty off the table. This one is Stauffer Dynasty Under the Reign of Henry VI. It's by Andreas Stedding and Z-Man Games. A little bit of an older game, but I've really been enjoying Andreas Stedding games. I played Gugong in 2022 for the first time and just really loved that game. In fact, I've got that here. Actually picked up this deluxe edition with the expansion and everything, and just really love Gugong a lot. And then, as I mentioned, Stroganoff by Andreas Stedding, also just a game that I've really enjoyed. So I'm really excited to get the Stauffer Dynasty off of my shelf of shame and see how that plays. All right, so that is number 5. Oh, another one. I actually have a second one for this one because there's two that I just can't wait to get to. And actually, some of my friends in my game group played this, but I wasn't able to be there. And that's Terracotta Army. This is a board and dice game. I tend to enjoy a lot of the board and dice games. And as soon as this one came out, I was intrigued because the art on this is just stark and really beautiful to me. And when I saw pictures of the game design with the little Terracotta Army figures, it reminded me of another game that I really love, and that is Xi'an, Terracotta Army. It also has the little figures, and it has an area control element, and it's got a really unique card bidding mechanism. I learned about this one from Rado's channel. He, I think, mentioned it as a kind of an underrated gem. And my wife and I really enjoy this one. And so I'm excited to try Terracotta Army as much as Stauffer Dynasty. So those are two, really anxious to get those off of my shelf of shame. Number 6, which game from 3+ years ago did you discover this year? Well, this year I discovered Coimbra, as I already mentioned, but I'll talk about another one here just because I love talking about games. And so this one is Crusaders. Thy Will Be Done. Coimbra was from 2018, so about 5 years ago. Crusaders from 2017, about 6 years ago. And this one, I wasn't really drawn in by the theme, but the art's really pretty. And when you look, I got the deluxe version as a used copy as well, and it just has really great components. And the game is super snappy. You can play it in a pretty short amount of time. It's also pretty easy to learn, but there's a lot of interesting thinking in the decision making of when you move and where you move and when you conquer enemies, and because the timing of all those things really matters, and then trying to do things in the right order so you can maximize bonuses and things like that. I've really enjoyed Crusaders Thy Will Be Done, and it is a little bit of an older game that I've enjoyed a lot. I had one game I didn't pull out here with me, but it just crossed my mind that is both in this category and one that was on my shelf of shame list when I made this back in July, and that is Ethnos. I really had been wanting to play Ethnos and get it off my shelf of shame, and did. It's an older game, I think 2015 or maybe even older than that, I can't remember. But I really enjoyed Ethnos, and then also got to play Archaeos Society just a few days ago, and I have to say I prefer Ethnos. So I'll stop there because I don't have the box to show you, and I don't think you just want to sit here and listen to me without something to look at. So, but that is another one I'll just add sort of spontaneously here to my list. All right, next up, number 7. Which anticipated releases are you most excited about for the second half of the year? So I don't know for sure if all of these will make it to me by the end of the year, but I think they're all supposed to. And so I'm going to list them all, and hopefully at least one or two of them gets to me before the end of December 2023. The first one I'll mention is Huang. I think it's by Phalanx Games. It was on Kickstarter or GameFound. I forget which one of those crowdfunding platforms. It's a Reiner Knizia game, and it's a re-implementation of Tigris and Euphrates and Yellow and Yangtze. And I don't have either of those original games, but I've played them, and I really enjoy them. So I'm excited to get Huang so I can have that same gameplay style with a few new things added in and a really nice production. Another one I'm really excited for is Empire's End, and it's one that I was back and forth on backing, but in the end decided I would just end up picking up the retail version of it. And it is by Brotherwise Games, and the creator is John D. Clare. And it looks just like a really intriguing game of basically controlling how you destroy your empire. And so I'm really curious to see how that works. I think there's going to be a lot of timing and resource manipulation and management that's important for that. So I'm excited for that. Another one I've been anticipating for quite some time and just got an email this morning actually about is Bantam West by Bantam Planet and created by Ike Brunicardi. And it is, I played it online when he was doing some play testing, and I got to play with the creator Ike, and it was just so much fun. I felt like I was living out a cowboy life. I was hunting, I was fighting, I was going into the saloon, I was burning things down. It was just such a great adventure in kind of a alternative universe Old West is kind of what it felt like. So I'm really excited for that, and I think it's going to hopefully get here before the end of the year. Another one I'm really excited about, and I imagine this one might not make it, and that is Unconscious Mind. It is by Fantasia Games, that's right. And then I can't remember the creator of the game, but one thing that drew me in originally before I even knew about the gameplay was the dual art combination of Andrew Bosley and then Vincent Dutrait. And they both just have amazing art and so many different really cool board games. And they're very different styles, and one is sort of the realistic memories in the game, and one is the dream world in the game. And I just think that is such a creative utilization of two different art styles, and it is beautiful art from what I've seen. And as I was watching the videos of gameplay and things as I was deciding to back it, which I did, it just looked like that kind of Euro with lots of good decision making and combinations of how if you need to do this before you can do that, and this builds that. And it almost kind of reminded me of some of the Feld games that I enjoy, and some of the Lacerda games that I enjoy, just like combinations of some of those things meshed into this beautiful game. And so I'm really excited about Unconscious Mind as well. And then the last question, what's your personal favorite video that you've posted to your channel this year so far? And I would have to say it's the Moonrakers reboxing. And it might seem weird that it's just a reboxing video, but I've had so many people thank me for that because they said it really helped them, and I've had a lot of people give me suggestions on how to improve it. And so there's so many comments on that video. It's a well-watched video. And so just because so many people seem to enjoy it and benefit from it, that's made me happy that it helps somebody. I know when I was trying to rebox Moonrakers with all the new expansions, it's a little confusing at first and it took me a while. So I'm glad I was able to help a few people that enjoyed that video too. So those are my responses to the mid-year board game tag that Roland Reggie started. Thanks, Reggie. And thanks, Dwayne and Alicia, for tagging me. I'm not going to tag anybody else right now just because so many people have done it. I've kind of lost track, and it's well over a month old, so I think it's sort of on its last legs. But if any of you are watching this video and you make content yourself and you'd like to, I will have the questions down below. And so you can do that if you'd like, obviously. And I would love to watch it. I've really enjoyed all of these videos that I've seen. And actually this morning when I was trying to go back and get those prompts to paste in out of Reggie's video just to make sure I didn't miss anything, I actually saw a couple new ones that I haven't seen by some content creators that I haven't seen. So I might be subscribing to some new channels soon. So hopefully you enjoyed hearing my answers to these 8 prompts. And if you don't make videos, but you want to leave your answers to these prompts down in the comments below, I'd love to read about your experiences in this first half. Or if you want to go through this part of August in 2023, that's fine. I'd love to hear about your gaming experiences so far in 2023. So I hope this has been enjoyable. As always, thanks for watching. And this is Billie, Indiana, signing off.